forecast introduce our viewers to a brand new East Pacific Tropical Storm. Well, not brand new, but recently upgraded East Pacific Tropical Storm Blanca, not Blanca, shoot me. Tropical Storm Carlos with winds of 45 knots. The ANC advisory first operating system early this morning, and after 21:00 advisory increased the intensity of Carlos to 45 knots, which is in reasonable agreement of the satellite intensity estimates of 40, which are 3.0 from TFB, which corresponds to 45 knots, and 3.5 from SAB, which corresponds to 55 knots. It also corresponds well with the ADT estimates. However, and it also corresponds well to recent ASCAT passage indicating a steadily organizing 40 to 45, maybe 50 knot tropical cyclone. Therefore, based on the above data, 40 to 45 knots appears to be the most reasonable intensity estimate. But the ANC elected to go with 45 knots. 45 knots. I can kind of understand why, since the storm looks pretty meh, with most of the deep convection located on the south side, with the north side here not looking too well organized. You can see convection in recent frames is bursting. You can see the outflow channels here. They're very good, as the outflow appears to be expanding all quadrants. So as such, the system appears to be strengthening. It kind of has a little bit of a tail-like structure for now. But I think the system will just continue to evolve as shear gradually subsides, with shear, which doesn't appear to be underdone, which doesn't appear to be overdone, as it appears the ships has consistently been showing about 10 to 15 knots of shear persisting for the next 12 to 24 hours before relaxing to less than 10 knots of shear. And as a result, the lowest shear expected then, at that point I think significant intensification is likely. But I will say that the shear, with the period of low shear, is not supposed to last particularly long, as it should fluctuate over the next several days. And as such, we have an increasingly complex intensity forecast. Well, yeah, here's a look at the ASCAT pass. You can see a pretty well organized tropical system, and with some 35 to 45 knot barbs over on the southeastern quadrant, which is kind of a similar structure in that regard to when Blanca was a Category 1 hurricane. I would say alpha-wise, even though I don't think the winds are alpha and structurally wise, even though I doubt the winds are that strong, Carlos definitely looks like a Category 1 hurricane. I'll give it that much. I mean, overall, the intensity forecast is still somewhat complex. I mean, wind shears, as I was mentioning earlier, wind shears expected to fluctuate over the next several days. I mean, it should decrease tomorrow, then kind of increase a little bit on Saturday and Sunday at least, slow intensification. And while the shear should be low tomorrow by a time, Carlos should also be developing an inner core. And while that's definitely a big step in terms of a future rapid intensification phase, that does take time, and wind systems building inner core only quick, steady strengthening can occur rather than the explosive EI episodes you sometimes see in the East Pacific. I mean, here's an older look you can see from several hours ago. You can see that since then, Blanca has improved quite a bit from about 15Z to 6 hours later, around 21:15Z. You now see a well-organized tropical cyclone compared to a relatively messy one. Now regarding shear, looks like shear in the shear environment, as you can see here, it's not going to be too bad. You see some northeasterly shear that's kind of causing the cloud tops to be a little bit weak. It's kind of cut off here, but it's causing the cloud tops to be a little bit weak on the north side. You can see it better from here. However, the shear still is forecasted by ships to really start subsiding around like early to mid next week, and I think that by that point, the system should definitely be steadily intensifying. At that point, that's when the system is probably going to have its highest window of its best chance to become a major hurricane. And I do think it likely will do so at some point, though there is some uncertainty as the system can only inherit dry off the continent. The ship's model also shows declining relative humidity values. I think for the record, I think models do have an ability to detect that, but I'm not sure. It's the kind of thing that can easily go under the radar since the computer models do not have the greatest ability ever to detect the mountains, but they do have some ability in Mexico. It's better than the ability they have to detect mountains in Hawaii. Even then, even then, I don't think this dry out the continent will totally destroy the system. I think it's more likely to slow the building of a core at most 3 to 6 more hours. Overall, Carlos is a pretty healthy system, and it's likely to continue on track now since the track forecast has come into much more agreement that models have finally, as I hinted yesterday, finally started to become into more agreement on it westward on a relatively slow motion over the next 48 hours. I mean, I'm not too concerned about upwelling of cold water because, one, the oceanic heat values are high, and two, unlike Blanc, which actually stalled, the system should still be moving, and three, I don't think the system's that strong yet. So I think we still got a ways to go. We still got a while to go before I get significantly worried about upwelling. Now, if it were to sit here like Blanc, then yes, upwelling could be an issue, but I don't think it is right now. Looking beyond 5 days, there's still some uncertainty on how much shear could be affecting the system. I mean, the shear is expected to be very low according to the ship's model at days 4 and 5 respectively, and I don't see any reason why and sea surf temperatures and by that time the system is supposed to be in the Gulf of California, so I don't see any reason why shear will be an issue. But you quite never know. I do think this system will still likely be a steady state system by day 5, and possibly upward towards landfall in Cabo San Lucas, which is kind of now expected by the consensus models, and a track probably most similar to Hurricane John 2006. System could likely get into the Gulf of California, where sea surf temperatures are relatively warm, though slowly declining at the time of year. Like the sea surf temperatures should remain here. However, I will say that sea surf temperatures are not a significant issue, as the ship's model track, which is a little bit northward of most of the Guianas, have it over cool water, still has a system over 29 to 30 seawalls throughout the next 5 days anyway. And sea surf temperatures in the Gulf of California are 26 to 30 degrees Celsius, easily warm enough to support a relatively intense tropical cyclone. And so in addition to the latest GFS runs, let me show it here. I mean, it's pretty decent on intensification, showing pretty gradual development over the next 48 hours. I mean, the past few runs, the GFS has kind of got launched onto this offshore scenario. It first started with the 18Z run yesterday, and since then the trend has only continued. The GFS has kind of gotten launched into an offshore scenario that later brings it into Baja as a weakening system, even though I don't see any reason why at this present time that the system will be weakening much, if at all. I mean, however, by around 90 hours or by day 4, the GFS starts to strengthen the system a bit. Even as a relatively well-pronounced hurricane as it passes near the states of Colima and Jalisco, and like near Puerto Vallarta to Manzanillo area and Michoacán. I mean, even though impact-wise, those states, in addition to some of the southern states like Oaxaca and Guerrero, probably saying them on, but even those states, in addition to the ones I just named, get some locally heavy rains and rough surf from the system. Also as an FYI, just as an FYI. And so far, since tracks are shifted dramatically westward and dramatically leftward, the main threat of the system is likely to be a combination of heavy rains and rough surf. But given the setup we are in, given the moisture in the large array bands that the system does have, and good outflow channels, that would favor some tropical moisture. That would favor some tropical moisture and heavy rains along the southern Mexican and western Mexican, eventually western Mexican coast, because that's where I'm expecting the system to make its closest approach to western Mexico in about 4 to 5 days before making landfall along the Gulf of California coast. But another negative factor, however, could be in addition to upwelling and dry air, in fact that the system won't have as much to aid intensification, just because we've finally reached the end of an upwelling of an active phase of the convective Kuiper-Kelvin wave, but with the Aldo MGOs in a fairly favorable base state. There's a lot of upward motion across the Indian Ocean right now due to a convectively coupled wave in that part of the world. You can see right around here. And it's going to be a while, but it's going to take a little while before it reaches this part of the world. It will do so in about a week, 5 to 7 days. But in the meantime, we'll likely have a suppressed phase of the convective. So by the time Carlos gets out of the way, I do think that we could be dealing with another tropical system, even though there's no signs of one yet. But in the meantime, Carlos is going to have to deal with a suppressed phase of the convective Kuiper-Kelvin wave. Knowing the way the last 2 years have gone, I think the system should be able to overcome it. But you never know. As I do think in general, convectively Kuiper-Kelvin waves are kind of an underrated source for tropical cyclones rapidly intensifying. Anyhow, that will wrap up this long video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Bye, bye, bye.